All right, we're back on part 5 of 9.2. So now we're back to applications. So here it says 3 numbers sum up to 147. The smallest number is half the middle number, which is half the largest number. What are the 3 numbers? Well, first off, let's define our numbers. So let's say we have x, y, and z. And so if we say x is the smallest, y is the middle, and z is the largest. Then what do we know? Well, we know the sum of the 3 numbers is 147. So x plus y plus z equals 147. Now what does it say? Well, now it says the smallest number, x, is equal to half the middle number, 1/2 of y. Okay. Now, what does that say? It says now that is half the largest number. Okay, so that means x is going to be half the largest, or what we can say, there's several ways we can interpret this one, but I think the best one maybe is y is going to be, because it says and that number is half the largest, so it's going to be 1/2 of z. Okay, so that is kind of what that one says. And so depending on how we want to work it, we can work our way backwards and kind of get all these different values in terms of the other one. And so smallest number is half the middle number, which is half the largest number. Okay. Okay, so now what can we do? Well, now we can substitute because we have values for each of these. Now, if we substitute x here, then we'll have y's. But then if we substitute a y, that's not going to help us because then we'll have z. So I think what I might do is I might solve this one for z and plug that in, and then I'll have a y here, and then the y here. So if I solve this one for z, z is equal to what? 2y. Okay. And so now I can plug everything in. So x is 1/2 y plus 2y, and that's equal to 147. All right, so here we have 2 plus 1 is 3.5 y. So 3.5 y, so 3.5 y equals 147. Divide by 3.5. And so now let's go ahead and use our calculator so we don't have to worry about trying to figure out that it is 147 divided by 3.5, and that gives us 42 is what y is equal to. All right, so we know that y is equal to 42. Okay, well, what does that help? Now if we take 2 times that, z is equal to 2 times y, which is 2 times 42, so that's going to be 84. So that's what then z is equal to. And then x is half of y. So then x is equal to 1/2 of 42, or x is equal to 21. Okay, so now if we add all those together, does that equal 147? Well, so that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, that part does. And then 8, 9, 10, and 14. So it does add up to 147. So is x half of y? Well, 21 is half of 42. So yes, that's true. And is y half of z? Well, y is half of z, so that's true. And so that looks to be our solution. So our numbers are going to be, if we put it in the order of triple, 21, 42, 84. And that would be the 3 numbers that we have. Okay, so the smallest, the middle, and the largest. And I didn't need extra space here, so I guess I was good there. Now, an animal shelter has a total of 350 animals comprised of cats, dogs, and rabbits. Now, if the number of rabbits is 5 less than 1/2 the number of cats, and there are 20 more cats than dogs, how many of each animal are at the shelter? Okay, so again, we're going to have to set up our variables. So let's say x is equal to cats, y is equal to dogs since it's next, and z is equal to rabbits. And so what does it tell us? We know that if we take and add all of those together, we have 350 animals. Now, if the number of rabbits is 5 less than 1/2 the number of cats, that means rabbits, is 5 less than 1/2 the number of cats. That would be what our z is. Okay. And there are 20 more cats than dogs. Okay, well, how do we want to represent? We can represent that as cats is equal to dogs plus 20. And that would give us 20 more cats than our dogs. So we have to take dogs plus 20 to equal the number of cats. Okay. And so now we kind of have our 3 equations. Now we kind of have to see what can we do to make this work. Well, if we plug in z here, we would be in terms of x. Now this one, if we solve this one for y and plugged it in here, we'd have x again. So we'd have x and x and x. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to solve this for y. So y is equal to x minus 20. And so then I could substitute this piece in here. I can substitute this piece in here. And then I can simplify and go from there. So that says x plus y, which is x minus 20, plus z, which is 1/2 x minus 5. That's supposed to be equal to 350. Okay, so just plugging all the things into that one equation, and then we're going to simplify. All right, so we have x, x, and x, and then we have minus 20, minus 5. So we have a minus 25 here. So that means what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go ahead and put it to the other side. And so when we do this, let's go ahead and say we have x plus that. So that's going to be 2.5x, and then minus 25 equals 350. So add 25. And so 2.5x equals 375. And we're going to divide both sides by 2.5. And when we do that, we end up with, and we add 375 divided by 2.5, and we get 150 for x. So x equals 150, and x is in cats. So 150 cats. Now, if we know that many cats, if we do that, we can say y is 150 minus 20, or y equals 130, and y is dogs. And then if we do that, we can say, well, 130 plus 150, that's 280. So we can say 150 plus 130 plus z equals 350. So that's going to be equal to 280. So we subtract 280. And so z then is equal to 0 and then 7. And so we have 70 rabbits. Okay, so now does that add up? 70 plus 130 is 200, 350, so that works. Now is 1/2 x minus 5, 75 minus 5 equal to 70? Yes. And does x equal 130 plus 20, 150? Yes. And so those are our 3 things: 130 dogs, 70 rabbits, and 150 cats. And we've just checked it, and so those should all be the correct solutions. All right, so that's into part 5.